Hello dear students, in this session let us study the concept of classification of second order linear partial differential equation into hyperbolic, parabolic and elliptic. So we are considering a general second order partial differential equation and we are trying to classify them as hyperbolic, parabolic and elliptic. The classification is depending on the value of your b square minus 4ac. Okay, that means we will consider a characteristic equation which is nothing but your b square minus 4ac. Depending on that value, we will classify the linear partial differential equation of second order into hyperbolic, parabolic and elliptic. So now first I will consider a second order linear partial differential equation and let's restrict our variables to two variables. Okay. This is my second order linear partial differential equation. If g is equal to 0, then it will be homogeneous linear partial differential equation. If g is not equal to 0, then this equation is called as second order linear partial differential equation, which is non-homogeneous, right? Now, depending on the values of a, b, c, d, e and f, the equation becomes second order linear partial differential equation with constant coefficient and with variable coefficient. That means if the value of a, I will consider the equation here, just observe here. So this is the general PDE, second order PDE, right? dux plus euy plus fu is equal to g. So if this coefficients are function of x or y, okay, all you can consider all the coefficients or any of the coefficient if it is function of x or y. That means if I have an equation like this, then this equation is called as second order linear partial differential equation with variable coefficient. That means this particular equations varies according to the value of x and y, right? That's why the name variable coefficient. If the value of a, b, c, d, e, f, either of these values are constants, sorry, all the values are constants, that means just uxx plus 5uyy plus 3uxy plus 4uy is equal to 0. You can observe here I have constant coefficients, right? This is nothing but second order linear partial differential equation with constant coefficient, right? If any of a, b, c, d, e, f and g are either function of x or y, then that particular partial differential equation is called as second order linear partial differential equation with variable coefficient. Whereas if all the a, b, c, d, e, f and g are constants, then the given equation is called as second order linear partial differential equation with constant coefficient. So this is how we classify second order linear partial differential equation into variable coefficient and constant coefficient. Okay, so now let's consider the conditions for hyperbolic, parabolic and elliptic. You can observe here. So as I told you, from the given standard partial differential equation, we will consider the value of a, b and c. Using that, if b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then this equation is called as hyperbolic equation. We will call this equation as hyperbolic. Okay. Similarly, if b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, then your equation 1 will be parabolic equation. And if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, then this equation is called as elliptic partial differential equation. This is how we classify our second order linear partial differential equation into hyperbolic, parabolic and elliptic. And the method of solving these equations are not similar. Hyperbolic follows some procedure, elliptic equations follows some other procedure, whereas your parabolic also follows different procedure. Why? Because the name hyperbolic depends on the value of BAC, right? So when the value, this whole thing is greater than 0 means I cannot follow the procedure which is similar to this, because here b square minus 4ac value becomes 0 and here it is less than 0. So for three different cases we have three different methods to solve the problems. Okay, first what we will do is we will consider a new transformation, that is xi and eta. So your plane xy plane changes to xi eta plane. Okay, the transformation takes place here. So the transformation takes place means if I want to change my xy plane to xi eta plane, I will introduce a concept called Jacobians. We will use this Jacobian concept only to change the transformation or to change the plane from xy to xi eta. Okay. So initially we were having a independent variable x and y. We are transforming our independent variable x and y to new variable, that is xi and eta. So obviously my xi will be a function of x and y and eta is also a function of x and y. That's why I have written xi is equal to xi of x comma y and eta is equal to eta of x comma y. Okay, so now we will consider a function such that it is a continuously differentiable. Okay, if it is not continuously differentiable, then I cannot find the value of xi, partial differentiation of xi with respect to x and xi with respect to y. Similarly for eta with respect to x and with respect to y. For that purpose, we will consider a function xi and eta such that it should be continuously differentiable. Okay. I guess you have studied the concept of Jacobian even in your matrix. So Jacobian is nothing but determinant of your partial derivatives, right? So I will write Jacobian J is equal to dou of xi comma eta with respect to dou of x comma y. That means we are differentiating xi with respect to x and y and we are differentiating eta with respect to x and y. I can write that as determinant of xi x, xi y, eta x, eta y. Right? So now if you find the determinant of this value, you will get xi x eta y minus xi y eta x, right? So the value of this determinant should not be equal to 0. That means we have considered a continuously differentiable functions, right? If the function is not continuously differentiable, then if you differentiate the function with respect to x or with respect to y, you will get 0 and your Jacobian will become 0. Since it is continuously differentiable, it is not equal to 0 in the domain, in the considered domain of your equation 1. Equation 1 is nothing but your general second order linear partial differential equation, right? This is in the domain of equation 1. Okay, so now the function u, sorry, u is a function of x and y, right, where x and y is a function of xi and eta now, correct? So now what is my dou u by dou x? Dou u by dou x will become dou u by dou xi into dou xi by dou x. U is a function of x initially, but now our transformation changes to xi and eta, where xi and eta is also a function of x and y. So if you differentiate dou u by dou x, you will get dou u by dou xi into dou xi by dou x plus dou u by dou eta into dou eta by dou x. You can compare this with the topic we have discussed in the last session, that is origin of PDE. In the origin of second order partial differential equation, we have used the same method, right? So from that you can write like this. Similarly, what is your dou u by dou y? Dou u by dou y will be nothing but dou u by dou xi into dou xi by dou y plus dou u by dou eta into dou eta by dou y, right? I can write this as u xi into xi y plus u eta into eta y is nothing but uy. Similarly, ux is nothing but u xi into xi x plus u eta into eta x. So I will write this directly. We have ux is equal to u xi into xi x plus u eta into eta x, and uy is equal to u xi into xi y plus u eta into eta y. Okay, so now from these two equations I can find out uxx, uxy, uyy, right? Why we are finding all these values? Because in a second order partial differential equation we have 5 unknowns: uxx, uxy, uyy, ux, uy. These all are unknowns. I have to find out the values of these unknowns and I should substitute here so that I can find the solution for this partial differential equation, right? For that purpose we are finding all these values. We will find out the values and we will substitute all the values here. Okay, so now using ux and uy, if you differentiate ux with respect to x, you will get u xi into xi x square plus u xi into xi xx. I'm just using the product rule of differential equation. I'm differentiating this term. Similarly, I will differentiate this term. Okay, plus you might get confusion if I write it directly. So for first uxx, I will derive everything step by step. Just observe carefully so that you can implement the same procedure to uxy and uyy. Okay, so this is my ux, right? U xi into xi x plus u eta into eta x. I have to find out uxx. Uxx is nothing but dou square u by dou x square. So we can write this as dou by dou x into dou u by dou x. Dou u by dou x is nothing but this whole thing, right? So substitute that dou by dou x into u xi into xi x plus u eta into eta x. Now we can solve this as dou by dou x into u xi, and I will keep xi x as it is, plus u xi into dou by dou x of xi x. this whole thing is these two terms, right? Similarly, I can write dou by dou x of u eta into eta x plus u eta into dou by dou x of eta x. This is nothing but these two terms, right? So now we can write this as I will write this part as it is into xi x plus u xi into xi x. We have to differentiate xi x with respect to x. So you will get xi xx plus dou by dou x of u eta into eta x plus u eta into, if I differentiate eta x with respect to x, I will get eta xx. So what is this dou by dou x of u xi and dou by dou x of u eta? We have to find out these two values now, right? So